Hello there and welcome back to The End is Nigh. Last time I made it through a blighted region that was surprisingly unblighted considering the name. I was totally expecting to come across acidic water or gas at some point, but I never did, so good on you, Macmillan / any other level designers involved in this game for not bringing that shit back. And hopefully that continues to be the case as I explore the next world, Ruin. There really does not seem to be much of a consistent theming of these future world names. 2 emotions, then a physicality, then just general destruction. I do like how the fact that the symbol for each of the worlds, I guess it is meant to be a progression of your character. First you're feeling the anguish of the world's end, then just kind of depressed. Then you're just feeling the physical pain, then you're just kind of a complete mess. I still feel that it could have been done a little bit more elegantly than it has been, though. Speaking of acid water, I'm gonna guess I can't touch the water below. Just a random guess. I saw him. I saw the bad guy. I seen him do the bad stuff. The horror. The horror. Ah, kid. I was born blind. But I have a feeling some really bad stuff is gonna go down here. Some low-down, mudslinging stink. You went that way. Pretty sure, anyway. We're talking about that corpse, right? He reeked of betrayal. And balls. Giant glowing balls. You'll get that joke later. GL. Okay, I'll admit I did find that exchange somewhat amusing. Oh, of course the fish jump after me. I should have expected as much. They're much faster and more aggressive than the other fish, it seems. But yeah, that exchange actually wasn't all that bad. I like the specific reference of, oh, you'll get that joke later. I don't know why, I just find that amusing. Maybe the water isn't dangerous. I don't see any other way I could proceed here. Okay, so it's not instantly lethal. It is in fact the acidic water that was so missing from the last world. Well, if this is all they plan to use it as just a dangerous lower layer, I actually don't mind that so much. As long as they don't force me to dunk through it a whole bunch, which they're probably going to. Knowing them. So far, yeah, dunk in and out. With the right timing to avoid the fish that I can barely see, that's some good design. Actually, I straight up can't see it, it's off screen. That is great enemy placement, game. But in addition to making it past him, I need the perfect momentum to make it through that rather tiny gap. If it wasn't bordered by spikes, it wouldn't be so bad, but that's true of a lot of things in this game. I think that's one of the core issues the game has, is that it's trying to be difficult rather than... I can't believe I touched those spikes. Rather than challenging. A good example of a game that does the opposite is my beloved Dark Souls series. They are games that are 2-1 challenging, but they're not necessarily difficult. In fact, they have plenty of easy parts and in a lot of instances even let you end up cheesing the game if you end up putting enough thought into the RPG elements and end up with a strong build. And it results in a game that is way more satisfying than something like this, which simply tries to be hard and basically be a modern version of the Quarter Muncher. I thought those blocks might be breakable because they look a bit funny, but I guess not. This is just a matter of leaping down at the right spot and then jumping, yeah? Yeah. Not so bad. There's gonna be one secret here, right? Yeah, one question mark. So I'll have to keep watch for that. A lot of the secrets in the future so far have been through breakable blocks, so I should probably look for those in particular. Okay, I was gonna ask, is there any particular reason why I can't just stay down there and then move over to the left side or something? But that's the reason. The water rises quite quickly. I don't know if it's gonna fill the screen and it's gonna act as a hard time limit, or if it's only gonna raise so far and I can actually be somewhat calm about things. For now, I'm gonna assume that it's just gonna go really fast and thus go really fast myself. Maybe it would be best to head over to the left side of the screen. I think the right side is gonna end up being a dead end, yeah. Somehow I survived that. Don't ask me how. I think I might know where the secret might be, however. Or not. What's the purpose of this whole hook here? Unless it's a callback to a past world, and if it is, I really don't see what it could be like, because this... Excuse me. Because just design-wise and what I've seen of the level so far, it doesn't really look similar to any of the past worlds. I guess I'll just leave it alone for now. Alright, just gotta survive for long enough with all these asshole fish. Maybe take a break in this middle area over here. That way I can have the fish congregate there and then I can jump over to the left side once the water rises enough. It's only gonna work if I can survive for that long. Yeah, like this. And it worked out. Booyah. No obvious secrets. Let's move on. Oh, this is a completely new element. These bouncy boys? Yes, explosive bouncy boys, so get the fuck out of Dodge after hopping off of them. I got your game. If I don't actually hop off of them, I just end up dying. So that means I can't do those short hops like that. Actually, wait, no, I can. Okay. I don't need to give extra pressure. I thought I did. I might need to survive, but it's not ultimately necessary. I made it pretty well the first time. Oh, and I can actually bounce off the sides. That was something I was complaining about with the bouncy skull boys from earlier, is that you could only bounce straight off the top, but here you can actually come off the sides and end up rebounding. That actually changes things considerably. And I think I've just discovered a potentially easier way to get past this. If I can get over to the left side. Which is by no means easy. My idea is bouncing off the right side of that uppermost one, so that way I go clean to the exit, but now that I think about it, I'm not sure if that's all that doable. It's probably possible, but I think that's actually one of the more difficult ways to solve this. I think just hopping straight across like I did that first time is going to be best for me. It's just a matter of finding the right timing again. Like so. Don't ask me to repeat it though. That water's gonna start rising as soon as I pick up the cube, isn't it? Oh, surprisingly not. In fact, instead what it did was it made that chain rise up. For a reason that I think I might understand. But I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to make use of that. I can't exactly pause. I think I know why the water's there. It's basically to give you a potential saving grace when you drop down, which is what you're gonna want to do if you want to collect what is probably a secret. Now let's see if I can figure that out. You know, I just realized there's a cube on the left side. I think I might have been jumping the gun a bit. I'm sure what I'm doing is possible, but I think it might be easy if I get to the left side of the screen first. I just realized that. Of course, getting over there isn't going to be the easiest thing in the world, but it's probably going to be easier than what I was just attempting. So yeah, let's try coming from this side. That gives me a much easier angle at jumping from this cannonball here. I think I want to faff about a bit though. I don't want to go... Oh, never mind. I really should have just waited. I assume that would have kept rising up and I would have needed to have made it to the right side of the screen and then jump off of it to make it up to a secret area. That's clearly not the case though. God damn it, I was barking up the wrong tree the entire time. That's kind of an infuriating feeling, especially since it's something that's pretty much 100% my fault. I really wish the fish weren't off screen. That makes them so much more difficult to deal with since I don't know exactly where they're gonna be. I must say I'm not a huge fan of that. One thing I do like a lot about the situation so far in this world is that for the most part, they seem to be designed to give you multiple paths through. Like in this previous screen here, you could actually jump over the tops or go below and deal with the fish. It lets you pick your poison. And that's something that a lot of the stages don't do enough of. Oh wait, I'm actually safe here, wow. I never realized that. That actually makes this a lot easier than I thought it would have been. And it's actually going to be even more easier if there aren't any fish here, which there don't seem to be. That actually gives me a lot more room to just take a break and take account of the full situation. I don't have to rush forward and make foolish mistakes. Yeah, really, I should not have died at all on that screen. That was actually quite easy. Wait, what? Oh, more bullets. Ugh. I feel like they're using that overly much in this stage. I guess if this is meant to be a future area of any of the places, it's probably the machine, given, you know, all the machinery, the conveyor belts, the cannons, and whatnot. So I guess it makes sense that there's a lot of them, but still not a fan of that. I'm assuming that when I touch this square, it's gonna make those cannonballs move up. So I'm gonna need to keep them alive, so to speak. Yeah, unfortunately I jumped a bit too quickly there. Jumping the gun again. Jumping these guns, that's good. Jumping that gun, the solution gun, not so much. The issue is I have to just stick around here while avoiding the bullets, which I really don't like. It makes me feel super tense. And in fact, I'm gonna have to intercept them on their... Wait a minute. Where did you guys come from? Were you always there and I just missed you completely? I guess so, okay. If then I can actually get up really goddamn quickly, I might be able to ignore that bullshit entirely. No, I was hoping I'd be able to leap directly across to the left, but even going really fast, I don't think that's going to be possible. Almost. If I had arced just a little bit further to the left, I would have been able to grab onto that ledge. That's what happens when you're making decisions on the fly. You often make incorrect ones. That's why you gotta plan things out, buckaroo. And got it. I still do wonder about those falling blocks though. Like they could perhaps be hiding some sort of secret, but the only thing I could think of would be making it up to the top of the screen, and they fall so quickly I'm not sure that's actually doable. I guess it could just be an alternate way of progressing, like maybe if you're super perfectly fast, you could use them to make your way across. Or it's there for backtracking purposes. That might actually be it. Oh hey, these are Isaac enemies, I'm pretty sure. If not Isaac, then some similar game. I've seen that pattern of attack before. No, actually, they might be an Isaac enemy, but what I'm thinking about specifically would be the, some of the patterns of attack of the amalgam creatures in Undertale, in the True Laboratory. Ooh, I like this. So previously these mines were purely of benefit. I mean, you could get hurt by them, but they were mainly there as a means of allowing you to progress. Here, they're an obstacle. You just have to straight up avoid them. And I like that, change of role. Change of pace. That's cool. You know, despite this world being the return of my hated acid water, it's not been so big of an issue so far. I realize I'm risking jinxing myself by saying that, but yeah, like the way they've used the water in this world isn't nearly as bad as the uses they've had for it in the past. And for that, I am quite grateful. Still getting used to dealing with these guys exactly. I basically have to move into them before they actually go silent. That way I can actually make it past them before they expand again. You know, there's possibly a secret location here. And I really want to check that out, so come on. Hey, what do you know? My secret sense is still strong. My timing's not exactly all that good here. And it looks like my reward for going here, in addition to another card at the end presumably, is another key. I wonder if it's going to turn out that you need to collect those keys for the final boss or something. Or maybe like the true final boss. That's entirely a possibility. Maybe I can't just ride it up, I might actually need to jump. Yeah, okay, that's what I was missing. Still tricky timing though, that's for sure. Alright, well I made it past the difficult part, so of course now I have to deal with a few last spikes. Just to make sure the game has one last chance to kill me, so I have to go through that challenge again, as always. Oh, this is not gonna be fun. Chain Chomps and Ghost Boys. There is not much room for error here, that's for sure. It certainly doesn't help that the ghosts actually end up covering up the Chain Chomps to a degree, which makes predicting them a little bit more difficult. Alright, thankfully that wasn't as bad as I thought. This should just be a series of quick hops through. Unfortunately, I will have to return with the key. It's not automatically saved like the cartridges are. Much to my chagrin. Alright, not so bad. Oh, returning though is gonna be a pain in the ass. I'm gonna need pitch perfect timing here. Too perfect, honestly. I can already tell you that this is gonna be a pain. Yeah, really, how am I gonna do that? The only way I can break through these bricks is by just smashing through. I could restart the secret. Thinking about it, that might actually be the better move for me rather than trying to break through it. Yeah, let's do that. I have to re-enter the secret, but I'm at an easy enough position, so it shouldn't be too big of a deal. And see, that's using a noodle. I like it when the game actually rewards me for doing that. Of course, the spikes had to get another kill in. They're bloodthirsty, them spikes. But yeah, coming from this top screen is definitely going to work out better. I'm honestly not even sure if coming from the bottom is even possible. Like, maybe if you're perfectly timed, but otherwise I just don't see it. Ooh, that key door is going to take just long enough to disappear. That might end up killing me thanks to that last chain chomp there. If it was just these two, it wouldn't be so bad. It's because of that third one, or fourth technically. This is going to be a right pain in the butt. I need to get them both to move up and then go under the lower one, I think. Of course it has a lower chain to make that more difficult. Let's go. Come on. Oh, I can't believe I made that on my first go. That's what you call luck. And are those triggered by time or progression? Okay, time, so I just gotta go really fast if I want to have the best shot at survival. Wow, that screen was surprisingly pleasant. This one less so. 2 fast-paced cannons. I just need to pick the right time and then just... no? Okay, I'm gonna have to move back and forth, yeah, and actually make use of these as barriers. I like that. It's actually pretty cool. I would have had it there if I had continued to do that. It's because I tried to make that last-minute rush that I screwed myself over. Whew. Yeah, I kept actually making it to that last wall and then always jumping just a little bit too high. I caught myself this time though. Okay, something is gonna happen when I grab that cube, and it's not going to be to my benefit. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem I have a choice. Alright, 2 cannons, 3 cannons, 4 cannons. And then eventually another cube and something that hit me down there. I'm not sure if that was a bullet I failed to notice or if it was yet another cannon. It's probably yet another cannon, knowing this game. This game loves its DACA. Yep, it's another one. Hopefully my exit is unlocked as soon as I pick up that second cube. If I have to wait for a third and potentially even more beyond that, I'm not going to be enjoying this time. I must be near the end of the secret by now, surely. I've been through quite a few rooms. I would like to proceed onward with the rest of the regular levels with a good stock of lives. But can't always have what you want. Okay, good, I am near the end. Well, this is fascinating. Presumably I just need to time this. Yeah, I didn't even need to time that, I just tapped forward and it worked out. Hey, I'll take it. I'll take one of these Mousetrap, Rube, Goldberg sequences over an actual puzzle. It's a nice break. These clearly aren't breakable, but just the way this is positioned makes me really suspicious. I don't see any cubes or anything that could move this, so I guess I'm done. When did you for that? What these in the Mexico she for with 4 parts effect for as much. How should you achieve time of 0? Wilson, you know. As it turns out, heading through that as quickly as possible was my key to success. Breakable blocks, spike pits, and more ghosters. I mean, this is just a matter of rushing forward. it's not like you can really delay your progress all that much, so I figured it would be timed perfectly that as long as I had the initial approach timed well, I could just hold forwards and I'd be fine. And what do you know, my judgment was quite sound. Not so much there though. Or there. Or there. Or there. But it was quite sound there. Alright, one final go at it. 3 of these moving in slightly different times. God damn it. Who always has good judgment? Not this person, but I did have good judgment there, and that's what counts. Lasers! That's a new mechanic. This is like the fight with the burst from Fury. Actually, it's nothing like that, aside from having a sniper rifle laser sort of thing. I do like this emphasis on taking cover from obstacles by using the environment. That's something that hasn't shown up so far in the game until this world. And it's a novel and new mechanic, and it's actually pretty fun to deal with. It's a new way of avoiding obstacles, and I quite like it. I less like the game's insistence on making me grab onto a bunch of ledges, but what you gonna do? What's the best way to approach this? Do I go from above or below? If I go from above, I can drop down really quickly with the momentum, but it doesn't seem like that was fast enough, so maybe I need to try from below. What is even the purpose of that ledge there? I guess you can make it back up if you fall, which I could have done, but I elected not to. I was hoping I might be able to make it across. Oh, I'm dumb. Of course that would be enough to block it. This time it's a moving one, but it shouldn't be so bad actually. It's kind of funny, they could actually make this a lot more difficult just by making the lasers charge up a lot quicker, but it's actually surprisingly lenient. Probably because they do expect you to deal with multiple at once. And that does make things quite a bit trickier. You have to interrupt their direct line of sight to you, or they will absolutely hit you. Thankfully, it's not too difficult if you give a little bit of thought. Oh, I did not expect that to target me. I mean, there shouldn't be another secret here, but you never know. Hey, good thing I checked. Yeah, so there are going to be extra secrets beyond just the one that have the cartridges, but it looks like they're just going to have NPCs. So it's not a big deal if I miss them. Smooch. Aw, thanks. I hope you do well in this world-ending scenario. Shouldn't there be a pit here? I guess not. Alright, no more lasers on this side, and hey, I no longer have to do that laser section. Not that it would have been all that difficult, but it's nice not having to repeat something, you know? Okay, maybe that wasn't the exact best position to drop down from. I don't have to deal with fish, so I can just wait here until the opportune moment. Should be right now. Indeed. Oh, I'm constantly moving over to the left for some reason. I'm not entirely sure why that is. It doesn't seem to be affecting my momentum too much. Like, as long as I'm on the ground, I'm moving over to the left, but it seems like my air momentum is unchanged. Or if it is changed, it's changed lightly enough that it's difficult to notice. There's some more stuff up there, but I don't think I can access it. Maybe I'll get to there from later. Alright, it's the return of the fish boys. Shouldn't be so bad though. I just gotta get my timing jumping across these platforms just right. And once I make it to the upper level, I shouldn't have to worry about the fish at all. Unless, of course, those platforms start crumbling, in which case I'm gonna have to make my way across them quite quickly. Yeah, if I fail that jump from the third platform, I'm kinda screwed. Recovery at that point would be quite difficult. Okay, yeah, I'm constantly being drawn over to the left again. And it does affect my mid-air momentum. It definitely did right there. It just didn't come up in the previous screen, I guess. Nope, I just realized that wouldn't work. I'm gonna need to do a neutral jump from that one. Actually, maybe even from the top of the platform, yeah. What is pulling me inexorably over to the left is my question. Probably something I'd be better off not meeting, but I doubt I'm gonna have a choice as to that. Right, it's the upper portion that's gonna be most difficult here, because they're constantly sinking, which means I can't do what I did on the middle portion and just slowly make my way forward like that. I'm just gonna need to hop across with complete surety that I'm gonna make it. Okay, finally managed to make it. Dealing with that, always moving to the left, especially since it boosts your momentum a little bit, is tricky because I have a set idea in my mind how to maneuver given how the momentum and physics in general in this game work. And adding that extra little bit of momentum really throws a monkey wrench into that. I have to adjust on the fly and it's a little bit difficult. But it seems that that pull is not going to be letting up anytime soon, so I'm just going to have to learn how to put on shades, deal with it. If there aren't any fish below, I should just be able to drop down, right? Yeah, should be safe. But I can't exactly bounce on that lowermost one, which I'm gonna need to do to make it over. Alright. It's just a perfectly timed series of jumps. What could be so difficult about that? That is exactly what could be so difficult about it. I was hoping the left side might give me just enough room to be safe, but no such luck. I'm actually not entirely sure how I'm going to do this. Because even if I don't... Yeah, because I think I can extend my jump by a little bit, but maybe not at all. Yeah, jumping off of these is just a fixed height, regardless of whether I hold the jump button or not. And that makes surviving leaping up from that one a bit difficult, unless I just remembered that mechanic I keep forgetting about. Yep. I keep forgetting I can, just cause myself to rocket downward at any point in the middle of a jump. I always forget that because it doesn't feel like that should be a thing, like I don't know why my character can suddenly do that. But then again, that's kind of a silly issue to take, given the fact that I never question characters being able to double jump in the air or air dash or anything like that in other games. It's just that this as a mechanic is something I've not seen before, so it's not built into my willing suspension of disbelief. And that makes it harder to remember that it even exists. Whew, didn't take too many attempts, thankfully. Assuming this has a similar number of stages as the other worlds, I should be near the end then. I'm really curious at this point to see what lies ahead. Do I actually have a path open to me? Probably not, as it's probably gonna lead to my death, but screw it, I gotta check it out. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. And I'm not gonna be able to make it back, no siree. Oh, I just threw the one chance the game gave me away. I'm surely going to regret that. Okay, I just gotta not bust this mine. I do have a bit of a safe spot here, thankfully. And... oh, this is just gonna need to be a perfectly timed jump. I'm not gonna like this. But maybe I can make it in one go. Fuck you, spikes. Yeah, I think that cinches it. They are my most hated enemy in this game. Always do they allow me to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. That actually does make me question exactly what kind of jump I'm going to need to make here. Like, maybe the game wants me to use that explosive. That might actually be the case now that I think about it. I could perhaps just rocket over all of those tumors. It's worth an attempt. Okay, yeah, I don't think that's gonna work out. Because if I leap from the middle of it, I'm gonna have more upward momentum, but not nearly enough forward momentum. Momentum towards the left side of the screen. So that's not actually gonna help me. I had another topic I wanted to discuss, but I forgot about it while trying to figure out how to deal with this bullshit. It'll probably come up again. I think my method the previous time does work. I just need to get my positioning a little bit better. Like so. And it seems I've made it to the end of Ruin. I'm not gonna jump into that glowing portal just yet. I'll save that for next time.